everybody. Welcome to the Choir Directors Academy. I am your host, Angela Elaine. It's good to see all of you out there. Come on in, like and share the video. Let everybody know that we're here. This is a topic that some people try to run from because they don't want to face the music with it. But, you know, it's something that needs to be discussed. We have a lot of up and coming people that want to be a choir director, directress, whichever one you are, and they have in their mind some kind of scenarios going on. Most of the time we see other people and what they're doing in their choirs and how they look, how the choir comes together, but you don't realize that there's more to it than just you standing there saying what you're saying. You know, I find it kind of interesting, not that I'm like the grandest choir director that ever walked around. I mean, people tell me that I'm good at what I do. As far as I'm concerned, I got a lot to learn. But I'm often told that, you know, I'm trusted in that I'm good at what I do. Okay, to God be the glory. We're going to roll that way. And it's funny to me how people come to me and they tell me, it's like, oh, you know, I'm a choir director and blah, blah, you know, whatever. And, you know, they got to tell me what all, you know, whatever, no matter what I do, they got to tell me how good they are and they can do the same thing. You know, I mean, that's fine. You know, I'm not here to argue with anybody or try to say, hello, Priscilla. That's my dear sister. Good to see you. And if you're out there, please leave a comment so I can give you a shout out. I like to give shout outs to people. People do that for me. You know, when I'm on somebody's show, they give me a shout out. You know, it makes you feel good. But anyway, and they tell me all these different things. And then I'm sitting there going, okay, your performance, when I stand there and I sit there in the audience, and it doesn't matter whose choir it is, but I'm sitting there in the audience and I see them, I watch how they sing, I watch how they respond, I watch how they present themselves, and then I can pretty much tell, okay, what's going on. There are so many things that go on behind the scenes, and I try to get everybody to remember that. I don't care if you're the choir director or you are if you're the leader of your praise worship team. It doesn't matter who you are. It's more to what you're seeing there. All everybody ever sees is the glory side of it, the end product when you're standing before people and they call for the choir, and then generally you see the choir director walking up. One thing we have to understand is that being a choir director is different. You know, I know in the Black church, being a choir director means one thing. In other churches, it means something entirely different, which is why generally we cannot jump from one side to the other. We have to stay where we are because our information or what we know is limited. What we call in the African-American church, what we call a choir director is somebody just standing there, you just telling the choir which way to go. Doesn't necessarily mean that you taught the choir. You just standing there as a person telling them, well, I know the song, so I'm just doing this. You may be familiar with harmonies, so you can kind of get the sopranos in their ballpark, altos in their ballpark, tenors in their ballpark, and it sounds reasonably blended or reasonably balanced or reasonably harmonious, and we just run with that. And then we're all over the place. We're flipping. We're trying to do the Ricky Dillard. We're trying to do Alanda Draper. We're trying to do all these different things, and you're missing the whole ball of wax. And then when it doesn't come out the way you really want it to come out, then you're sitting there like ready to quit. Well, tonight, we're gonna go through those things that are unofficial. I had one of my friends, she was a music, minister of music at a church, and she was hired out. She's, you know, and she says, when I posted this on my page, she said, don't interview for a position and then get there and discover that you are in a ministry where the pastor and the deacons are at each other's neck. The money was great, but not worth the headache. It's so many things you get to walk into. A lot of people sitting there like, oh, I want to be a choir. You know, you walk in there with your hopes of this and that, but you forget you got to build. Nobody's just going to give you a department that's already ready. If it is ready, when you take it over, it's going to be unready by the time you walk in there on your first day, because you got to anticipate fallout. A lot of people don't realize being a choir director, the true definition or the true work of a choir director, you're really a people manager. You are a people manager. People don't understand that. They just like, well, we just get an aggregation of people and we move. No, you really have to manage these people. And there's so much work you got to do. It's not just you just sitting there going, okay. No, it's work. I mean, first of all, let's just cut to the chase. All right. Cut to the chase. You must be a people person. If you don't like people, don't even apply for the job. Okay. If you don't like speaking to people, nobody is going to sing for you and you don't speak. I don't understand. You have to be a people person. When you see people, you have to speak. What is this where you walk in like you, whoever you are, and then these are the same people that you walking past and you won't speak to. You expecting them to walk up and then walk up to the choir stand and sing. And then you hear people, all choir members come to the choir stand and they just sitting there looking at you. You'd be surprised, just a simple, hey, you don't even have to hold a conversation. Just, hey, to all these different people. People remember that. Those that you need will remember that, okay? As my sister said, let me get these comments out here. Calvin Bliss, oh, that's my brother. He's a preacher. My sister said, I know that's right. I'm serious. You must be a people person. You have to know how to reach people. If you wanted them to walk around and think you almighty and your clothes and whatever you got and your talent is going to draw people in, sorry, it's not going to happen. Sorry, I hate to tell you that. You will have singers, but you won't have the quality people that you want because they're not going to deal with you. You have to learn how to approach people. You have to learn how to talk. You have to talk. I'm sorry, but you got to talk. If you cannot stand before, listen, let me, and I plan not to be too long. Okay. But if you're the type of person that can't stand in front of people and hold a conversation, you have to be, nobody wants anyone representing them and you can't present yourself. I'm sorry. If you need to be able to stand and talk to people, represent them, because if you're the choir director, you represent the department. They're not going to call your vice president. They're not going to call the musicians. They're not going to call the treasurer. They're going to call anybody but you. All right. So if they, sometimes you have to get up and speak before the choir gets up. Speech, enunciation, pronunciation, all of that comes in part of being a people person. You can't be shy and be a choir director. You must be a people person. And another person that I talked to, she was telling me, she said, it's not for the faint-hearted. If you cannot take anything, like there are going to be times you're going to get rebuked. There's times that you're going to hear things that you don't like. There's time you're not going to be the favorite of everybody all the time. If you one of those weak people that want to be loved by everybody, that's not the job for you. Sorry. Because you are not, just like your pastor is not loved all the time. The first lady is not loved all the time. The deacon, the usher is not liked all the time. You are not going to be liked all the time. Face it. You're going to make decisions that people are not going to like. But if you are a people person, you know how to talk to them and they'll come around, but you just need to know how to talk to them. I mean, that's just a part of the job that nobody really thinks about. Now, let me go here. These are the ones that we are familiar with. Teacher. Everybody likes being a teacher, getting in front of everybody, talking and saying whatever else and telling them what they're going to sing and what they're going to do and blah, 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 blah. Everybody likes that part. Conductor. That's the main thing. The ones that get up and you tell the sopranos, the altos, and the tenors, you can do all your moves and everything. Everybody loves that. Mentor. To have somebody under your I want to say under your control, but somebody that's under your guidance. Everyone wants to feel like they're leading someone. We're familiar with that. Musicians. Not all directors are musicians, but a good, you should. Let me put it this way. You should know what each key looks like. You should know the chromatic scale. Okay, let me drop it down. You should know the diatonic scale. Middle C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You should know that. And then, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. You should know that. Okay, I'm not going to say you got to have perfect pitch, but you should be familiar with that. Okay, the most perfect thing is when a choir director knows what key the song is in, instead of you walking up to the musician saying, what key is this in? Tell them what you want. That's what they're expecting you to do. You tell me what you want, I produce, right? Fundraiser. There are a lot of us that we're good at raising that money. You know, we have to raise money for our departments, whether we collect dues or whether we have a musical, some kind of, you know, some churches have like what they call it, skating parties. You have to raise the funds. We're used to that. Motivator. You got to, you know, sometimes the choir comes in, they're not really ready. They're not in that mental space. They had a hard day at work. Some of them are married. They having little, you know, things going on in the family. Things didn't work out right. You got to motivate these people to say, because every time you come to choir rehearsal, they're not going to be at that level where they're ready to jump in and run. Okay. My sister says, oh, there's no Z on the scale. No, there is not. No, it's only C to C, okay, and an octave. Treasurer, we read, you know, somebody got to watch the money, keep the money. You know, you can't put it in everybody's hands. Jesus put it in Judas' hand, and they had no money. He already knew that about him. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to do treasurer. We know that. Publicist, you're the one that's putting the flyer out, telling everybody about what you got going on. People can do that. Designer, you're the one picking the uniform. You know, we're wearing black and white, red and black, gray and pink, yellow and gray, whatever. Most people understand that. And also driver. Those are these categories are where everybody is pretty much familiar. You know, sometimes you have to pick up the choir members. They don't have a ride, you know, or something. And you need them to sing. So what? You become the chauffeur or the driver. So these are ones that we find where we know about them, we're familiar with them. Okay, but I'm gonna add this slide. I found this one, it was actually perfect. I posted it on my wall a long time ago, maybe a couple of years ago, and it got a lot of shares and likes. But this one, of the unofficial duties of it. Okay, let me take this off in the back. Sorry about this in the back. I didn't want anything in the back. But anyway, this unofficial duties, the many hats of a choir director. And you look at that and you say to my, you know, oh my God, most people don't even know. The ones that I call are the ones you're familiar with. So we got some on here. Administrator, entertainer. And you may say, no, I don't have to be an entertainer. Yes, you do. You do it all the time. That's why you know, when you come to rehearsal, people say something, you know, they sitting there kind of dry and you sit up there and you crack and you say something funny to make everybody laugh. That's entertaining. Because sometimes you have to do something to break up the monotony because people just sitting there looking at you like, hurry up. We've been sitting here. I don't want to be here all day. I just got off work. I'm hungry. I'm tired. So you doing things to try to get people excited about what you're doing. And we have role model. We forget that. As choir directors, we forget that we are role models to people. All right. You're a role model. You just can't run around doing stuff all willy-nilly. And then when people try, you know, because you got a lot, you know, it's a revered position, especially in any church. Being a choir director is a revered position. And if we trace it all the way back to the Bible, I know a lot of people say, well, Lucifer was not a choir director, but he was in charge of the praise. He was in charge of the music. Right. And that's why you hear some people say that the devil, he always in the choir, because he uses music to entice people, to persuade people to do a lot of different things. Right. So you're a role model. You're not just you directing, but your presentation, how you dress, how you carry yourself, the words that come out of your mouth. People admire you because you're in front of them all the time. Outside of the pastor and the first lady, the next person you see most of the time is the choir director. If a church has an engagement, who do you see? The first thing they do, they call the choir. It's an elevated position. And I pray to God that we don't fall into the trap of pride and let that cause us to do things that we shouldn't do. But you need to remember, you are a role model. There are a lot of people watching you. There are people that look up to you. So you really need to be grounded in God so that you won't cause anybody to go the wrong way. Being a leader. That's part of the course. Being a leader means that you understand, you have a vision, you have goals. You can't be a choir director and not have a vision. Well, we just going to get up here and say, okay, but where else are we going behind that? Are we getting involved in competitions? Are we going to do a recording? Are we going to have a neighborhood fest? I mean, what are we going to do? You know, because the actual, I mean, it's okay. You know, nobody's against singing in the choir, singing in the church and everything else, but there's a ministry outside the four walls, right? There's so many different things that you can do in the neighborhood, at senior citizen homes and different things like that. So many different things you can do, but you need to have a vision. If you're going to lead people, no one wants to follow somebody that has nothing going on, right? So you want to have, I remember when I had the choir, I got them involved with breakfasts. I got them involved in choir competitions. I got them involved. I mean, not just going to different churches singing, but we just got involved in so many different things, neighborhood fest. I mean, all kinds of stuff they called us for. But that was to show them that singing in the choir is not just in the four walls, it's things to do outside. I led them by example. I was excited in what I did and all of the things like that. Cheerleader. We do it all the time. When somebody is singing, what do? We cheer them on. We like, sing, girl, you better sing. And we, you know, you make all these motions like to encourage people. You're always a cheerleader when you do that. A lot of people don't know that. They tell people to sing, and then you see the director standing there looking at them. It's like, say something to the choir. You know, when I'm directing, I don't care whose choir it is. I'm trying to project and get them excited. If you're standing there and you're directing and you're just like, no enthusiasm, it's just like you just doing this, that, and the other. Who's going to sing? That choir's not going to sing. They're going to, you know, you have to know how to pull the best out of them. And it's just not going to come out. You got to put an effort in it to pull it out of them, right? So you're a cheerleader. Some of us are travel agents, especially if you got your choir traveling all over the place. You going here, there. It's your job to get them there. You sit there like, okay, help me out, somebody. But unless you initiate it, chances are it's not going to get done, right? Manager, librarian. How many of us always, you know, we have a team of people, but somehow or another, you're always the one that's got to get the song list together, whether you get it from YouTube or whether you get it from somebody, Apple Music or whatever. You're the one that's getting the song list together and then sending it out to everybody. You're the librarian. You know, people, I remember my members used to text me and they would be like, where's that song? Or can you send me the song? And I'm sitting here like, excuse me, I sent this out. You know, no, can you send it out? Nobody can remember. You have to do all of those type of things. Sometimes you're a nurse. All of this is I'm trying to go around this list real quick. I'm gonna post it in the chat when I'm done. But sometimes you're a nurse. You got to nurse the boo-boos. Their little feelings get hurt. You got to be there to rub their back, you know, try to encourage them and get them to do some stuff. You know, I mean, it's all of this is part of it. Okay, counselor. If you're not a people person, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, I got a problem. You're a leader. You can't sit there and like, well, I don't want to hear your problem. I don't want to be bothered. That's not my job. Yes, it is. Anybody in leadership, at some point in time, you have to be a counselor. You have to sit there and listen, whether you want to do it or not. You have to, I mean, you're a leader. People are looking at you as a derivative of the pastor and the first lady of leadership. You're part of the leadership team. So you should be able to listen to somebody and give them some kind of good advice, right? And in that case, you need to be a student of the word. You just can't run off and say, well, I would do this and I would do that. And they run off and do it and then they're shipwrecked. You have a responsibility, right? To give people good information, which means you have to read, which means you have to study. It's more not just music, but you need to read books on leadership. You need to read the word of God. You need to pray. You need to do all of these different things because people are expecting you to be able to lead them and guide them. Sometimes you have to be a therapist. You know, I can't tell you, sometimes I just sit there, you just listen, you know, and you praying while they're talking, asking God to help them to get to the answer, because you may not know the answer, but I know somebody who does. God, you're praying for them as they're talking. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, you just can't expect people to give to you. They come and they sing, and then you have nothing to give back to them. Sometimes you got to pour into them. A mechanic, I've seen choir directors change tires. One of the members got on a flat, and you come out there looking like, what's going on? Out there changing the tire, because AAA is going to take too long, and we all don't want to be here waiting. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to have what they call windshield wiper fluid in the car. It's just so much. And you think, you're like, oh my God, but you have to be ready. Leaders are always ready. They always have to be prepared for whatever happens. A lot of times you're the historian. Sometimes you have to give people the history behind singing, the history behind hymns. You may tell them to sing Blessed Assurance, but then you tell them who the person is, what you're talking about, what circumstances happened in that person's life for them to write that song. When you understand history and you understand a lot of different things, when you're talking to people, you're able to extrapolate from other things and not just stay in one particular genre. You can drive, because sometimes you can explain things to people, they may not understand it, because everybody is not musically inclined. Like, you know, we got Elliot Bell. He has a degree in music, right? I may understand what he's saying, but then the average choir member be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so you have to be able to take something of a natural base or out of the music arena, be able to take something and take that and explain it to a person that would make sense to them so that they understand. Sometimes I use football or sports or medicine or something, anything, simple mathematics, in order to convey a point over to whoever I'm speaking with, even in music, to help them understand where I'm trying to go. Okay. Dietitian. That's part of your job too. Sometimes we eat the wrong thing when we're singing, and you can't get the notes out that you really desire to get from people. You have to tell people how to eat. You'll be surprised how many people do not know how to eat when you're singing. There are certain things you can't eat. You can't eat any dairy. If you know you're getting ready to sing, dairy is out, because it kind of helps build up that mucus, and you can't sing when you got a throat full of mucus or in the chest. Certain things you just can't eat. Fried chicken, heavy food, stuff like that. When you know you're getting ready to sing, you can't do that. As a choir director, you need to know that. You need to know what people can do when they have sore throat, how to get rid of it quickly. You know, sometimes we see people wearing the scarves around your neck. I tell people, you need to cover up your neck. And sometimes they think it's just style. You know, no, your throat needs to be protected. All right. You can't sing properly. You have to be able to tell people what to eat. I mean, when we went, okay, Michelle, I'm going to put it in the chat. I can't blow it up too much bigger because of this, but I'll put it in the chat so you can download it. Okay. But you have to tell people what to eat and how to eat and what to do. You know, exercise is important when you're singing. Also, you salesman, babysitter, facilitator, inventory manager. How many of us have to keep up with the choir rolls of our choirs? You know, it's like people can't find anything. They don't know where anything is. It's your job to kind of keep up with that stuff hey, Darius, until you get somebody on your staff that can help you out. But it's way more than this, right? But one thing I will say, you definitely need to know the word of God. You need to be one that's apt to teach. All right. You cannot be afraid to speak publicly. You cannot be afraid to be wrong, because as a leader, you're going to be wrong, not intentionally, but sometimes it happens. It's not the end of the world. All right. You have to be able, okay, I made a mistake, and say those two words that a lot of people just can't seem to say. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Let's correct this. Okay. Sometimes you're not always in the best frame of mind. Sometimes you come in upset. 99% of the time you good, but then it's that one time that you might be upset and you come in and it's just like, oh my God, and if you're not, then you just say, help me. You have to be a prayer warrior. Know how to pray. Sometimes, rehearsals. I know that times in the choir rehearsals that I have, it ends up being a word session, right? I end up getting a scripture and teaching, or I may end up getting a song or something and try to motivate people. You have to be prepared, or you may just pray. There are times that I prayed through the choir rehearsal, prayed the first 15 minutes. The Lord came in and blessed everybody. No sense of trying to go over a song. People then jumped and hollered and screamed. There is just no need. The voices, but that's what they need. You can't. You have to be led by the Spirit of God. You can't just go to rehearsal and say, this is what we're going to do. You have your plan. Don't get me wrong. You have your plan. But it's just like a service. You don't know God. You don't know what the people really need, right? You don't know what kind of week they had. You don't know what kind of day they had. You don't know what's going on in their lives. And you, as a choir director, have to be in tune with the Spirit in order to know what is expected, what is needed, right? A lot of times we just get so driven and we're so busy trying to do everything this way, that way, or whatever. And it's not the best way to go. It's not the best way to go. Hey, Stephanie, Michelle said, let the Spirit. Exactly. Sometimes you just got to do that. You just got to do that. You can't come in and just say, well, whatever. You know what? And I'm gonna say it like this. The choir rehearsals where I make the same mistake as everybody else. I come in, I'm driven. We're gonna go over this song, we're gonna do this, and that. And I will say the choir followed me. I mean, that was not they followed me because they want to be in the choir. They seen what I was trying to do, and they were motivated. And I was able to build. My sister was in the choir, so she knows what I'm saying. However, when I began to get closer to the Lord and listen to the Spirit of God, choir rehearsal took on a different shape, which is what I'm saying and agreeing with Michelle, in that you let the Spirit take control. Because when He takes control, He knows what needs to happen. The choir rehearsals are different, okay? They're different. They're not the same way every time we come. And when you let God take over and go the way He wants it to go, you make it becomes interesting. They come to choir, they don't know what's going to happen. We know we're supposed to rehearse the song. We know we're supposed to do this, but we don't know. The Spirit may come in through the prayer. It may come through a song. There are times we worked on a new song and boy, the Spirit came in and everybody just got blessed and we went on. You don't know. And it's just like when people know that they're going to have a good time, they don't know what, but they know they're going to have a good time. You'll be surprised at the attitude and how it would shift that atmosphere and how blessed people would be when they come, right? So, and that's what you want, because when rehearsal becomes good and people enjoy themselves, what do? They talk about it. They talk about it. They go back and tell people, you should have been at choir rehearsal. Woo, we had a good time. We did this, and that. Well, then that is what, so the next person listen like, man, I missed that. Oh, and then when they hear everybody coming back talking about it, what is that going to do? It's going to motivate them, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm at rehearsal. And then there are people sitting in the audience, you got some people, whatever, they don't want to sing or whatever. Then they start thinking about, well, maybe I need to get in the choir, because you know what? When people come to choir rehearsal and they have a good time, it's reflected when they get up and sing. You build a camaraderie, a family-like atmosphere where everybody starts praying for one another. They start looking out for one another, not in a cliquish way, but in a family way, right? When a soprano is not doing good, the sopranos and everybody go and try to encourage that person and get them up. We're going to do this. Don't worry about it. You have section leaders who are also people persons. And if somebody is struggling with a note, they kind of get over the side and kind of work with them, encourage them, and let them know, okay, you can get this. We all struggle. We'll get this. And then you'll see the choir start developing and evolving into this entity of people who love each other, love God, love each other, and love what they do. That's what you want to do. But all of these other things that I listed today and talked about, they're all important. They develop you into a leader, but it also develops the people who follow you. They develop confidence in you. When they see that you're led by God, you're not running on your own. They develop confidence in you and they're able to follow you. You say, let's go here. Okay, I'm with you. What time? I'm there. You know, the choir becomes like your ride or die. They're with you wherever you go. And I can tell you, they will do that when they see that you have a heart for them, that you care about them. I can tell you, when I was music president of a jurisdictional choir, when I took over, you know, people came out of retirement and they came back and they got with me and they seen how I was into what I'm doing. I didn't have a clique like you can sing and you can, you know, I realized this is me. And I'm gonna try not to have this too long because I'm already longer than what I anticipate. Stephanie, I see your question. I'm gonna get to it in a second. I realized that everybody is not as gifted. When I took the job, and this is one thing I encourage all directors of worship leaders, you need to realize that you are irreplaceable in this sense. God made you. He gave you the gift that you have. Nobody can replace you. You must get that in your spirit. I don't care how good this person is, whatever. I used to tell all of them, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how, because I let you get out there. You good? Go ahead. And I don't have to sweat my hair back. I don't have to work down. Go ahead. You know what? Because inside of me, I know that God has given me a gift and it has developed to a certain point. They gave me the job because I got the gift. There's something in me. There's something in my spirit that allows me, that they see that I can do the job, right? I don't have to be intimidated by you. Look, I already know I'm not the best singer. Now I can get the job done. Okay? You act up, don't worry about it. Give me the mic. I can do the job. I can play instruments. I play about 3 instruments. Okay, I'm not the best. I'm smart enough to know I'm not the best. But if you act up, I guarantee you I get on there and they'll know what I'm playing. Right. So I don't have that where I got to be, I ain't got to do all that. I let the choir know. If you want to direct, I'll give you a chance. Now I'm going to watch you and see your skill set, right? Believe me, I'm not going to put you up in the middle of convocation. And you don't know how to give signals. You don't know which way we going. But I will give you a chance. So when I had the jurisdictional choir, I gave everybody a chance. You know, I mean, people would say, I don't want to see this one. I get that. But I have to be fair as a leader, right? The person may not be the best, but they come, they support, they pay their dues, they help me. You know, when I need people to show up, I got this mass of folks showing up. But I let all of them know. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you levitate everybody in the air and they all flown around in the ceiling and you levitate the benches. The spirit is so strong that everybody fall out like a prophet. I don't care. Go on up. Do whatever you do. Because you know what? When it's all over, when they get through, I'm still the big dog, okay? They still gonna say missionary Angela Garrett and so-and-so and so-and-so, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't take anything from you. So you don't have to try to stop somebody from progressing. I did the same thing in corporate America on my team. I never stopped anybody. You want to be part of that group? Go ahead. Just long as your work doesn't suffer, go ahead. You're not taking anything from me. You actually making me look better because people say, she's a fair manager. She give everybody a chance. She give everybody a chance. She don't try to hold you back. You don't have to hold anybody back. A good choir director doesn't try to hold anybody back. You don't do that. There's something wrong with you if you got to hold back. Somebody's a better director than me. And what I do, I see people do, people do it to me. I don't even care. Because I know when God wants me to direct, I'm going to be up front. I ain't worried about it. But I'm not the one that's going to hold anybody back. I won't do it. Okay. I won't do it. Hey, Lady Pam, good to see you. Stephanie, what did you say? Good leadership doesn't hold people. You don't. I don't care. That's something wrong with you. This is part of your unofficial duties. You got to get your spirit right. If you hold people back because somebody is a little more gifted than you in something and you hold them back, all you want them to do is stuff that they can't be seen. Something's wrong with you in your spirit. You need to get straight. Look, as that song say, I came to tell you, you need to get straight. You should never. This is the thing. If you know what it's like for people to do it to you, then why are you doing it to somebody else? If you know what it's like to get passed over, why would you do it to somebody else? Why do we as leaders learn the wrong side of stuff? Why can't we be like Jesus? Somebody help me. Why can't we be like Jesus? Why do we have to be like the flesh? Well, I don't want you to get ahead of me. Don't you know when you hold somebody else back, you can't progress? Can somebody help me? Don't you know when you put you holding down on somebody else, you can't go nowhere because the minute you let them up, they're gone. I don't understand that. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. Hey, Pam, my sis. What's it? Oh, my friend, Prophet. Why can't we be like, look, bro, why can't we be like Jesus? You're not losing anything. Isaiah, what you say? Flesh. That's what it is. Flesh. You're not losing anything. As choir directors, you need to understand that. You need to get it. See, when you got all that kind of stuff going on, you wonder why the choir is messy. Yes, I said it. The choir is messy because you messy. Messy produces messy. What she say, Michelle? You said jealousy. Exactly. You cannot be jealous and be an effective leader. You can't. You're gonna scuttle everybody. You're just gonna destroy the whole thing. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. Who is this? Hey, Pam. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. You cannot be jealous. You cannot. You're gonna mess up everything. This is all when I say unofficial, these are all the things that most people don't think about. They don't think about. Miss Winnie said what? Insecure. Exactly. These are the things that nobody really thinks about when they take the job. All they want to do is just get paid and whatever. I can't even come up with the word. But they just want to get paid and be a showstopper. It's all about me. It has nothing to do with you. If you're going to be a great director, it has nothing to do with you. Mary said, you cannot be jealous. Come on now. We must lead with a pure heart. Because remember, back to that role model. You're a role model. You can't walk around. I don't care who you are. You got somebody watching you. I don't care. Even if you're doing bad, somebody is watching you. Some young person is watching you and they're looking up to you and they get their view of leadership from you. That's why we got stuff so messed up, because we got people in leadership who are not right in the heart, who are not connected to God, who don't even know how to pray. They don't know how to read the word. When they read, they speed reading. They can't tell you nothing. You got them leading people and you got all these young folks coming up looking at them like, oh, that's who I want to be with. Come on. And then you wonder why everybody's so messed up. You wonder why everybody like this. You wonder why it's mess in the choir. You wonder why it's junk in the musicians. You wonder why the singers got attitude. Because if the head is messed up, the body is only going to follow. I mean, I know I'm being demonstrative. I'm trying not to, because I'm getting, but if the head is not right, the body The body follows the head. Whoever's in charge, that's the body does that, right? That's just how it is. Lady Pam said, forgetting what you make happen for someone, God will make it happen for you. Exactly. What she say? Oh, Michelle says, speak. I mean, seriously, I don't understand. I don't understand. But we have to understand what the job, what the role is. You are a leader. You are a role model. And you need to be in tune with God. And whatever is working in your flesh, whatever, when you feel yourself rise, when somebody's singing the song, you rising. Something wrong with you. Sorry. When somebody's directing or whatever, you getting upset. You can't, you already stunted your growth. You're not growing anywhere. You're just going to be wherever. What she say? Do it realizing that no glory. Are you helping me teach tonight? Do it realizing that no glory goes to you. Why are we trying? You know, if that's what you're doing it for glory, then I'm sorry, you're in the wrong field. Well, come on, Nurse Garrett. That's you, girl. That's you. That's my sister. She the nurse. Isaiah said, also the ministry job doesn't begin on Sunday. Come on. Nor is it over when it requires. Come on. The work is over when church, neither is the work over when church is over, but should be still. Come on during the week. Come on, Isaiah. Come on. Hey, Shanita, my dear cousin. Hey. Stephanie said that part. Come on. Michelle says, what you say, Michelle? Self-ego and not God. Come on. We got too many peacocks. You know, people with peacocks. See me, see me, see me. It ain't about you. Come on, it's not about you. It's about the Lord. Who gave you the gift? Whatever wait a minute, somebody help me. But isn't that what Satan did? Isn't that what Lucifer did? He tried to get the glory for himself and got kicked out. Okay, so why are we going to do? Are we reading our Bibles? I'm getting tired, y'all. You hear my southern drawl? That's my mama coming out. Are we reading our Bibles? Didn't we know that that's what got him kicked out? Because he got beside himself. God, when you praising God, right? And I'm like, wait, I want somebody to praise me. Really? Didn't that make him fall out of God? So why are we going to do it? Come on now. Why are we going to do it? Miss Benny said, you get in God's presence first. Come on. You cannot lead people to a place. Listen here. You cannot lead people to a place you have never been yourself. Come on. You better come on with it. You better come on with it. Stephanie, what you said? No, they're not. They looking shine. And Michelle, she just agreeing with me. I'm glad for you. But she's absolutely right. You cannot lead people to a place where you have not been. The praise team is not the only people supposed to be in connection with God. We look at them and we say they're supposed to usher into the presence of God. Well, guess what? The choir's supposed to do the same thing too. And look, the choir director, you supposed to be connected. If you're not connected, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of you all can attest to this. You have your plan of songs that you sing. You should, you should. I did a show on that. You should have a list of songs that you plan to sing for that Sunday. But don't you know, if you follow in the Spirit of God, you just may not sing any of those songs. He just may jump in and say, sing this one. You got him out of singing, Search Me, Lord. And then he comes back and says, nah, I want to hear praise him, or I want to hear salvation and glory. But you so bent on doing what you're doing, and the Spirit is not able to work the way it wants to work. Because you got your glory thing going on, right? Lady Pam says, we sing the song, it's not about us, but sometimes it is. Some people do that. It's all about the glory and the faith. Lucifer fell because it was all about the glory for him. He was already the most beautiful thing there was. Come on. And see, one thing my mother taught me, and I'm going to share this with you. My mother brought this up in my father taught on this before, but you have to remember, like I said, Lucifer was in charge of God's holiness. He had the praise and he had all of the music. And you have to remember, he works through us because he knows vanity is in our flesh nature. Everybody wants to be recognized for what they do or some kind of praise. And there's nothing wrong with somebody telling you, you did great. You know, we should encourage one another. But when the pride steps in, right? And one thing we have to remember, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, whichever name you want to give him, he was up in heaven, right? And he knows what it takes to get kicked out. He knows what it takes for us to do to keep God from letting us in. Through vanity, through pride. That's one of the 7 abominations. Pride, arrogance, all of those different things. Jealousy, envy. He works through us because he knows that's going to make God angry. And then God is going to be like, you know what? I mean, we got Jesus and we got grace, but we know that certain things should not be in us. And he knows how to activate those things to keep us from giving God the praise and the glory and the service that we should give him, right? Michelle, look like you all in my thoughts, girl. Isaiah, what did you say? Some people feel entitled. The spirit of see that. Michelle, Lord, use me for your service. Are you all in my thoughts? We look like we're running on the same level. Exactly. Look, that's what you should be saying. Let me put that up again. Lord, use me for whose service? Your service, not mine. It's not for my glory. Because we all realize God can choose anybody to give him glory. I mean, he don't have to use you, but he decided to use you because he sees some good in you. He sees good in you. I see good in you. Jessica says, good teacher. Thank you. I see good in you. And that's why I'm sharing. You know, a lot of people don't like to share how they achieve or what. I'm sharing with you what I learned and what my mother taught me as a choir. My mother was a choir director as well. She had 2 choirs. She was competition, a cappella. She was all of that. So I learned a lot from my mom, right? And then from the other choirs that I sang with over the years. And of course, Dr. Maddie Miles Clark, I've learned so much from all of them, right? And I see the good in people. I see potential. And one of my mentors told me that I am a developer. I got to get offline, y'all. I'm going to be done in a minute. I am a developer. And I like to see people grow. I like to see them learn. I like to see them develop into something. I do. I'm not the kind, you ever seen this where they talk about my squad? I like to see everybody winning. Okay? If you're not winning, it's not because I'm not giving the effort to help you win. I like to see everybody excel, everybody do good. And a lot of people don't like to see this. So that's why they don't share information. They don't share information. Look, I can't share everything that I know because I probably forgot half of what I really know. To me, it doesn't take anything from me. What I'm sharing for you, it doesn't take anything from me. I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm giving to you, and then God will pour back into me something else to give. He'll replenish what I'm giving out. My knowledge is not for my benefit. It's for the benefit of others. And that's what I try to get people to see. Amen. Jessica said, God sees the good in me. Amen. Michelle said, we're on the same page. Exactly. Ms. Minnie said, we are assigned to usher them in by encouraging and exhorting, not push, pull, rebuke. Come on. Fussy worship leaders are the worst. I'm telling you, come on now. You don't have to hide. See, my mom always told me, she said, you don't have to yell and fuss at nobody. She said, you just get up there with the joy of the Lord. They'll get with you. They'll see the joy on your face. If your hallelujah is for real, and it's coming from the depths of your soul, trust me, somebody else is going to connect, like Michelle connecting with me. Somebody going to connect with you and their hands going up. They're going to holler right along with you. That's just what it is. So when are you doing your in-person workshop again? Stephanie, you always pushing me. I got to get, girl, y'all give me a chance now. I'm just starting back up. But yeah, I'm going to get all of that going on. All right. So we went through all of this mini hats and we had a great discussion. And Stephanie, I hope I can find your question where you were asking me something about the food. I want to get to that. Oh, wait, I think I found it. You say you speak of the foods and drinks we should avoid. Can we get examples of what those things are? PDF. Okay, I'll find it for you, and I'll put it. I'll make a post on it on the choir director's page, and I'll put a. I got it somewhere on my drive of things that we shouldn't eat or drink that we should avoid, especially when you're getting ready to sing. And then two, a lot of times I try to get one thing when I'm warming up, make sure you're warming up in the morning. I know we get lazy and we just like, you get up and you're running. You shouldn't do that. Always warm your voice up. I know Isaiah, as good as that, boy, does he have a voice on him. But we should always warm our voices up. I usually do the warm tea. I kind of got it from Michael Jackson, who worked for him. But I usually have warm tea, and then I have a Ricola that I put in there, the throat that soothes your throat. I put a Ricola in there and just have warm tea. And that kind of, if I have any mucus or phlegm, I think that's right, Priscilla? It kind of loosens it up and makes my vocal cords and everything a little more watery, and it kind of goes down. It helps prepare my voice. Doing all of the vocal runs, the simple ones, not the fancy ones, just simple, just to warm your vocal cords up. You don't want to go out there singing hitting cold. That's another duty. Some choir directors forget. You got to work with the people and get their voices trained. You got to do it. Sister Priscilla said garlic and onions. Yeah, we have to kind of stay away from that when you're trying to sing as well. Now, listen, I hope I said something to help all of you all tonight. I know I was talking kind of fast because I had a lot of things going on, and I kind of went off in a teaching mode, but I hope I said something to help you on tonight. Listen, like and share this video. If you have some friends that's kind of like struggling in their area of choir director performance, feel free to tag them, to share this video with them, and hopefully we all work together and we all learn together. Being a choir director, I will say that it is one of the most rewarding things that I have done in the church. Been the usher, been the junior missionary, been the junior drummer, and whatever else. Choir directing is a beautiful thing. I love it. I mean, I do, but I don't love it for the show. I love it because I love people. I love music, and I love doing things for God. I love to see people get blessed by music. That is the most motivating thing for me. I love it. I know God gave me the gift, and I appreciate him, and I bring glory to his name, but I love to see how it blesses people. And how they respond. The Spirit of the Lord just comes in and people just receive it. And you see the house get blessed. And it's like, Lord, thank you. It's not in vain. It's not in vain. Jessica says, oh, it is. I love it as well. I'm telling you. It's a beautiful thing, and I love it, and I love seeing people develop, singers develop, choir directors develop, musicians develop. I just love to see everybody develop. I just want to see everybody win. I really do. And I thank you all of you all. YouTube, thank you so much. And Facebook, thank you so much for being here with me and hanging out with me, and all of your beautiful comments. Oh, wow. It's going to take me a while to go through everybody because, I have to reread everyone. Then I got to say something to you. I appreciate all of you all hanging out with me, and thank you so very much. And I hope you all have a lovely evening, and hang out with me again, if you will, please. And if you have any questions or anything you want me to discuss on the show, feel free to put it in the comments, or you can send me a message through Messenger and let me know, or post it in here and let me know, can you go over this topic for me? And I'll be glad to do it. Listen, I'm here to share. Whatever I know, I share. And if I don't know it that well, believe me, I'm going to find one of my friends that's gifted in that area. They will be able to share with you. Okay. Thank you, Shell. I enjoyed you too. Pam, oh, I'm a master teacher. Well, thank you. Pray for me. Hallelujah. Pray for me. I love all y'all. Have a blessed evening. Thank you so much. Peace.